tiki room, in the tiki 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 room.
Whoa, what a catchy tune! Take it home, baby!
Oh boy, the magic of Disney animation.
Okay, the director's ready, talent's ready. Cue the opening.
WDW Radio, your information station.
Hello, my friend, and welcome to the WDW Radio Show, your Walt Disney World information station. I am your host, Lou Mongello, and this is show number 461, and I'm here once again not only to help you have the best possible vacation experience when you come to the parks, but I also want to bring you a little bit of Disney magic every week with the podcast, videos, blog, live broadcasts every Wednesday on Facebook, my books, audio tours, and more. You can find everything over at wdwradio.com. So exploring and understanding a nation, or in this case, a World Showcase pavilion, is best achieved when accompanied by a guide. And this week, we're going to tour the UK pavilion in Epcot's World Showcase with not just a friend from England, but with a bit of a different spin as we snack our way around the UK. We'll start off a proper English day by visiting Yorkshire Fish and Chips, and then sampling a wide variety of snacks from the Tea Caddy, all recorded live in Walt Disney World. I'll then have the answer to our last Walt Disney World trivia question of the week and pose a new challenge for your chance to win a Disney prize package. Then stay tuned to the end of the show for some updates and announcements, including information about our next meet of the month in Walt Disney World, The Purge, Momentum, and more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of the WDW Radio Show. Much like the name of the secondary entrance to Epcot Center, I believe World Showcase truly is an international gateway, and not just the ability that it affords you to see architecture and meet people and learn about some of the countries. But if you've listened to the show before, you know that I believe wholeheartedly that one of the best ways to learn about a people and its culture is through the food, and snacking your way around World Showcase is one of my favorite ways to enjoy it. And today on a picture-perfect Florida afternoon, I am sitting outside of one of my favorite, and one of the ones we've talked about on the show before, pavilions, which is the United Kingdom. In the past, I've done a number of shows, oftentimes with my friend Emma from the United Kingdom, where we compared how this fantasy version, this Disney-fied version of the UK compares to the real thing. I'll link to that episode in the show notes. She and I have also gotten together, and we've had high tea at the Grand Floridian to compare what having afternoon tea is like here versus tea there. But we're here. We also did a live review of the Rose and Crown. We've really explored a lot that there is to explore here in the UK. But today I'm sitting outside because I think one of the things that you can do when you come here, and even if you want to sample some of the flavors, you don't necessarily have to sit down and make 11 table service dining reservations or even have a full meal. Sometimes it's fun to just, I know some people like to drink their way around the world. I prefer instead to snack my way around World Showcase, and today I want to learn a little bit more about snacking my way through the United Kingdom. And of course, I cannot do this alone, although that means I wouldn't have to share quite as much, but I needed to do it with someone from the United Kingdom to take my hand and guide me through all of the snack options that we can find here in the Tea Caddy and some of the other shops. And I am so excited to welcome to the show a longtime friend who you are the perfect example of what I have said since day number one, that we are friends whether we have met yet or not. You are Martin Moja 10S in the box and on many of the social from the United Kingdom. welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Lou. That was a wonderful introduction. Very kind of you indeed. It's lovely to be here and an honour to be representing the UK, of the UK fans of the Walt Disney World Radio Nation.
Emma's going to be so jealous.
Oh, yes. Hello, Emma.
I feel like I'm cheating on Emma in the United Kingdom.
Hello, Emma. Actually, Emma's show made us, my wife and I, go to the Garden View and have the breakfast, the afternoon tea.
Yeah.
Yes, it was lovely. She's right about the tea bags, though. We did miss the tea bags.
Yeah, we did. We've had a lovely time, as it were, when we really got to explore the pavilion and compare. I think it was a really good example of how this and some of the other countries, compare to the real world, what the real United Kingdom is like. Obviously, you don't see probably many cottages that look like the Tea Caddy, but we were able to compare and contrast the Disney-fied version and some of the history and obviously some of the flavors as well. But one of the things that I had never done before was actually go through into a place like the Tea Caddy and try a number of the sweets and the snacks. And you were incredibly kind and generous, as were some other friends in the United Kingdom who either brought some over to the meet of the month or have sent them to me in the post, in the mail, whatever you call it.
Yeah, that's right. I was just so happy to bring some Cadbury's chocolate, some real chocolate, as everyone says. There's a certain flavour to Cadbury's chocolate that you just can't get anywhere else. And I was talking to one of the cast members in the Tea Caddy, and she was saying exactly the same. They actually don't have the same chocolate here, even though it's saying some of it's UK. It's not really. It's not as good tasting. So I was so glad to be able to bring some, even though I got quite a few people saying, you missed this, you missed that. There's loads. So we could bring all sorts. But I was hoping the sample I gave you was good enough to get you introduced into a great culture of English chocolate.
It was delicious and very different. I think that's part of the reason why I wanted to do this here with you live, because I think sometimes people walk through and they look and see and they, laugh or giggle and wonder what it's like. We're actually going to buy some and try some and compare sort of my Americanized palate of sweets versus see how this sort of compares to what we have in America. Because I know, and we'll talk when we get in there, that I know a lot of people that really like a lot of the UK candies and sweets and chocolates, even more so than they like some of the ones from the States.
Yeah, I think most of us say the same, because I've had the Hershey's, they're nice, but they're a darker kind of taste, whereas the English chocolate or British chocolate is Cadbury's, especially Cadbury's, or even Nestle's and Mars. They've got a lot more milk, a lot more sweetness, so it's a sweet rather than something you're kind of going, okay, I'd rather not eat all this. You can't share. When you have British chocolate, you go, no, it's mine, leave it alone, as you found with your kids. It's yours to have. And there's so many varieties as well. And again, I brought a box of a collection choice, but I could have brought twice, 3 lots. There's so many you could have a sample trial, because they're great. There's so much good chocolate.
And so very different, and we'll talk about that. But as you may or may not know, I'm actually more of a savory guy than I am a sweet eater. But, it is it's lunchtime here when we're sitting down to record this. And as a wise man once said, I think we should sort of follow this guideline, you can't have your pudding if you don't eat your meat. So I think that we maybe need to sample, as long as we're snacking our way around. I think it's not just sweets and candies. You can snack your way around the promenade, not just during Food and Wine or Flower and Garden, but a lot of the pavilions, like UK, have something like the Yorkshire County Fish Shop. So maybe what we should do, Martin, is why don't we share a little bit of traditional fish and chips. Let's talk about just how authentic those really are. And then we'll go in and sample some of the sweets.
That sounds good, mate, as I say. Let's have some chips.
And pudding, is pudding another word for sweets, or is it pudding?
Well, there's variants, but pudding normally is a dessert, so we have pudding. But having said that, there's Yorkshire pudding, which is a savoury dish kind of thing that you have. So it does get mixed, but really, when we say let's have a pudding, you're going for the sweets, the desserts. So you finish with a nice kind of delicate to the palate of a sweet type of thing once you've had your main meal. So we always have a pudding.
All right, so let's grab some fish and chips, and then we'll make our way to the pudding.
That sounds good.
So one of the things I love about the Yorkshire County Fish Shop is that, and you get this with a lot of places on the promenade, like as you walk by, like you can smell it. Even before you get it, you can smell the fish and the French fries, and it's sort of a an olfactory weenie that sort of draws you over. So we have a fish and chips, and I also had to get, just because, a Victoria sponge cake, which is filled with jam and buttercream. I've never had this before.
Yeah, it normally doesn't go with fish and chips, but
See, all right, so we're learning. So we actually get two pretty good size pieces of fish and a nice basket of chips served on a sort of a newspaper. Yeah.
When I was a little boy, it used to be Friday nights was fish and chip night, and my dad used to go down to the local fish and chips, get it, and it was always in old newspaper. And then it was a Friday night, you get all the vinegar, you get all the mess, and you sit down and watch telly. And in those days, I'd be watching the film, a thing called Dad's Army. And it just brings back all those memories, eating fish and chips, Friday night, watching telly, British telly, perfect.
Yeah, and I love that. I love how, I think food does that. It brings back so many memories. Sometimes we enjoy food not just because of the flavor, but because of the memories we have with family or friends. So, I mean, is fish and chips as common of a meal as we Americans may perceive it, or is it something that you have once a week?
It's normally a Friday thing, but it varies from wherever you are in the country, depending on what you want. But also, it could be a pub food. After the pub shuts, you go and have something to eat, it's fish and chips.
But are there like street vendors that sell it, or?
Not vendors, more like shops, like that one. The little fish shop is perfect. It's exactly like that. We've got a couple in town, and then you get the variants who do it. Obviously, in the restaurants, you get the fish and chips. But the local ones are really nice because they make good batter. Okay. That's important. You have a real good batter. And we have, locally for us, down south, our white fish is cod. And the cod, it's gorgeous, it's soft. But you can get variants. But that's a real love one, because when you bite into it, it's really soft. And the best way for it all is it's got to be soft. You can have it hard. Other people like it hard. I really like it soft, and then it's a real moisture.
So there's different fishes. It's always a white fish, but it could be cod, it could be something else.
Haddock is the other one I know about. So yeah, they're variants, but I've never really liked any of the others but cod, and that's what I was brought up on. Like you said, memories come from those, and that's what I always remember my dad buying us. It was always the cod and chips.
And you said before that the fish and chips that's served out here are slightly different than the one that's served inside the Rose and Crown, right?
Yes, that's right. Either it's not just the fish, they have the beer batter. Now, you would normally get that in restaurants rather than in the local shops. Okay. That's kind of more of a delicatessen kind of style, more up market, if you would call it. But then again, depending on where you are in the country, you may get it regular, but down south we have it more as it's in the restaurants. You get the beer batter one.
So when you go up to the little condiment bar there's ketchup for some reason. There's mustard. There is, of course, some picnic brand tartar sauce. But I think I'm doing it right. I'm a malt vinegar guy, and I think I'm raising my children correctly because that's how we like to eat our fish and chips.
Yes, exactly. The chips are not the same without malt vinegar. I was talking to a cast member from the UK Pavilion there saying the same thing. She said, I couldn't understand what else we put it on. I thought, you're right, we only put it on chips.
Right. Because so often here we have tartar sauce on fish, especially on fried fish. And I like tartar sauce, but I think sometimes it masks the flavor a little bit, especially if it's a very heavy mayonnaise-y type tartar sauce.
Yeah, we don't do any of that. Normally it's just the fish on its own, and it's the chips that have the salt and vinegar. Maybe ketchup. I love ketchup as well with mine. And others do brown sauce, which we were talking about before, about the brown sauce, which is more of a spicier kind of sauce. But again, it can mix it with anything. So it's another one of those things that we love. We do like our sauces, like ketchup and brown sauce are the two main ones. And they are ones that we can vary for different meals. Like we were talking about bacon butter. You can have it with bacon buttons and all that stuff. See, so
I just like the way you describe food. That's like the word you use. Emma's the same way. And chip butties. All right, so I bought like a queen's load of malt vinegar. You prepare this just the way you would have it at home, because I want to make sure that I'm doing it proper. With my really bad Dick Van Dyke English accent.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's probably a bit too much on that bit. But, the other thing missing is salt. We ain't got any salt. So normally you have salt and vinegar, you see, on the chips. So we'll have to go and get some salt.
Oh, we'll have to get some. Okay, well, I'll have to get more salt.
I'll go and get the salt. I'll do that, sir, if you've already got the fish.
You're so polite. The English are so nice.
Bear with me. Just scatter some salt over that. There you go.
Nice. Don't be shy.
Oh, right.
There's no blood pressure cuff here, so we're fine.
So now that to me looks like proper fish and chips, mate. So you're going to have that, and it's going to be like a proper British taste. You've got the various differences there, you see. So you're going to get all the different bits to it, which I love.
So, and you put malt vinegar on the chips and the fish.
Yeah, you can do it on either. I prefer normally the chips only because I love the taste of the batter and the fish, you see, and then I don't like to hide it in any way. But then again, the other thing is that normally you can dip the batter afterwards, the harder bits of batter in the tomato ketchup.
Okay, all right.
Tomato.
Tomato.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, so this is another. So, fork and knife, or just pick it up and eat it like a sandwich?
No. Pick it up.
Attaboy. So you need to tell me how this compares to home.
That's good. Yep. Chips are good. That's for sure. And they're, like I say, real chips, what we call thick. The French fries are good, you know, in like some McDonald's, but these are real British chips where you get a nice larger size and you got a bit of the potato skin. Yeah. That's how we like it, a bit more roughness.
This is how I like it too. I like some heartiness to my chips.
A lot of actually, that's a good point. A lot of British food is hearty. Because I was going to swear then, excuse my French, because it's always cold. So eating here today in lovely hot Florida sun is a bit odd, but it's not.
If it was cold and raining, it would be much more appropriate for. I don't know how you guys survive. I don't know how we survive out here. So I went right for the fish, and I've always really enjoyed this. And it's whether it's a quick little grab and go type snack, or if you sit down by the water. Because I think even for like a quick counter service, there's a really nice crust on the fish, but it's not overly. A lot of times you get fried food, you have to really worry about how greasy it is.
I have to say that is wonderful. I've just had a good bite of that. There's not much left of it, and it's so soft. And that's, to me, when you go into the chip shop, you really don't want to get the old fish. You want them just making it because it's nice like this, nice and soft.
And buttery.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, you do get the grease and all that stuff, but that's, it's all part of the whole ambience and the whole thing about it. But it makes...
That's not grease. Those are the calories. When you put it on When you put it on here, those are all the calories dripping out.
Oh, sorry, you got me in full mouth then. I can't stop eating the fish. But it's so soft. And it's a good temperature as well. I'm really pleased with that. I'm so glad they do it that way, because that is a real, true representation of fish and chips to me.
See, that's so... it's so nice to hear, because I always worry that we have not a Disney-fied version, but more of an Americanized version. I think some other countries potentially might change the ratio of spices and things like that to make it more appealable to an American palate. But if you're saying that this is sort of very much authentic, I think that's a really nice endorsement, especially for something like this where it's very quick grab and go counter service.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's a good point about that is we obviously like Chinese food as well in the UK.
Really?
Yeah, quite a lot. So it's Chinese, and fish and chips, and it's very much westernized, isn't it? The Chinese style of eating the food or the making of the food. So it's good to see this has not been changed one bit. This is just as it should be. So it's good to see and good tasting. Love it.
Matt, I could do this all day long. We're sitting out here in the shade. There's the music in the background. There's the people walking by. You're looking out over the promenade. Like, this is such a nice spot out here.
You got to remember the last time I ate fish and chips, it was dark, raining. It wasn't warm. So this is a bit strange. So this is very unique and awesome, because it's just, like I say, apart from the great company I'm with, what a place to eat. Again, you wouldn't normally see France just over the bridge, but it's just one.
It's right across the channel.
Yeah, that's right. It's wonderful though, because we've caught a good day where it's actually quite a nice breeze as well. So I'm very happy to be eating here with you, sir.
Yeah, and the fish and chips was, I think, $10.49 or so. But as you can see, especially if you just want to have like a snack or a light lunch, there's enough here to share. I mean, there's 2 pieces of fish and there's enough chips, yeah.
Yeah, 2 pieces, and that fish is a good size. The difference in the UK, you probably get the one fish a little bit longer, but you get a load of chips. And they pile them up. And the one thing I've noticed here, which is good in a way, there are no drag ends, as they call them, which is the little bits. We get loads of it, because it's...
What do you call them?
Drag ends. There's all little bits, And you get these things where you've just basically... They'll scoop them up, plonk them in, mate, here you go, get on with it.
A lot of crumbs.
Yeah, exactly. Get on with it. And you go, OK, I'll take it, But it's the top stuff you really want, and that's why this is just perfect.
Yeah, and it's a nice size portion too. Sometimes you always worry that you get small portions, but this is, and like I said, I can just sit. French fries are my weakness. Like, it is definitely part of my death row meal.
Well, I wouldn't normally, like I say, fish and chips at what's the time? Oh, it's 12:08 type of thing, because it's an evening meal type thing for us. Normally, as I say, we'd have it in.
Oh, so this is not normally like a lunchtime type thing. Okay.
Well, it varies where you are, but the majority of the time it would be an evening thing. And again, it used to be like us, Friday evenings we'd have it, and it was a treat, and we'd have fish and chips and then watch a bit of telly in the dark, you know. Putting the money in the meter and getting the electricity come back on. But again, it was such a nice treat to have, and sometimes with a bottle of Coke. That was the other thing. You'd get a bottle of Coke, and those are great days. Like you said, food brings back good memories, and does for me.
If French fries or chips were a health food, I would be an Adonis. I would be a god among men, because I could eat French fries and potatoes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
These are awesome. They're a good size as well. Nice and chunky. So, yeah, I agree with you. I'm having the time of my life, sir. It's really nice.
And we haven't even gotten to, like, the sweet part. We're supposed to be snacking, and we're
Don't get me started. Oh, my God, yeah.
I think this is a great example of, it. A snack is whatever you want it to be. So it doesn't have to be chocolate and sweets. It could be a beverage. It could be fish and chips. We got to try our little. I don't even want to try the cake. I just want to keep eating chips all day.
Not my cup of tea. That normally after a fish and chips. But I was quite apprehensive when you said about let's go and get some fish and chips. I thought, oh no, because normally it's quite a lot. This lunchtime, I'd rather have just a little bit. This is a perfect snack size. Perfect. So you want to do this, and you've got room for everything else.
And look, no one thing, Martin. When you dine with me, no chip gets left behind. So
no, definitely, I think with me as well, we'd be fighting over the last chip. So yeah, and also the other thing is about this is you're in Epcot. You want to walk around and try some others later, so it gives you room.
You got 1.2 miles around this promenade to walk off your fish and chips. So, but I had to get this little cake because I'd never seen it before. Yeah. So I figured we just need to try it for, again, this is part of what we do in the research. So it's like a small, it's in like a little ramekin. It's probably about 4 or 5 inches, and it is a soft, spongy cake. And it looks like it has, actually it's 2 spongy cakes with some jam and buttercream in it.
That's it, jam and butter.
It's it's nice. It's not super sweet. It's more like a it's almost like a little strawberry shortcake. You have to try some.
I will do, definitely.
And I'm just doing that to distract you from the chips, just so I can eat the rest of these.
Oh, that's all right. One thing I don't like is dry. I want to have moisture. I want to have something with all the flavours coming out rather than having to have a drink to get the flavours to come out. That's good.
And sometimes you worry about things that are prepackaged. I mean, it's not prepackaged. It's obviously fresh. It was obviously made this morning because the cake is very, very moist.
Wow, yeah, this is soft, very moist. Oh.
Yeah, keep eating it. Don't watch me in the chips.
I've just lost out on the chips, folks. But I'm going for the pudding now. So, yeah, normally I wouldn't have this. I think I've
well, listen, don't get full because we still have to finish the rest of our snacks in our snack review. But this is a lovely lunch or a snack.
Yeah.
Fish and chips. If you want a little bit of cake, obviously they serve a number of different beers right there. And again, you don't have to go inside Rose and Crown's dining room or even in the pub. You can grab it, and I love sitting out. There's actually 2 levels of seating over by the water, by the bridge that leads you over to France. So you can grab this. You don't have to worry about having any kind of reservations, and then you just you walk down and can sit down by the water, and then wash it down with a wide variety of sweets.
I think that's the next bit I'm really looking forward to. Is the sweets.
It's time we move on to the tea caddy. So happy I wore my British stretchy pants today.
We're going to get back on the board, aren't we?
It's quite good, isn't it?
And as we walk across the cobblestone street to the tea caddy, the UK is one of those pavilions that I love wandering through. That sort of that winding street that leads you into the back. It's sort of like Morocco. I think a lot of times people walk by and they don't necessarily go back there because they look on the map and there's no attraction, or maybe they don't go into the shops. We wandered through before. We met a very lonely Mary Poppins and got some time to chat with her. I did my best Dick Van Dyke impression. She ran off screaming, but but it's so lovely back there, and there's the hedge maze, And again, as you walk through, you're sort of moving forward in time and through the UK and seeing some of the different architectural styles as well.
I'm quite lucky where we live in the south. The Twinings tea caddy, we're in little villages. They're all over the place.
Yeah?
Yeah, all these styles are all over here. And then the rest of the stuff, yes, that's that's Hampton Court, I think it is London. But the other Tudor elements, I'm near a city called Salisbury, which has got a big Salisbury Cathedral, and it's got all Tudor.
Like the steak.
Sorry. The food again, I love that. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the architecture is something that actually does fit right. It does. There, you can find it, not always everywhere, but you can find it. Like I say, the caddy house, caddy shop. We got loads of those little cottages where we live.
It's really neat to know. This obviously is meant to represent a time period, 1500s in the United Kingdom. So it's nice to know that some of those things are still there. Unlike the ones in the UK, this one's actually air conditioned too, which is also really nice. So as you come through, obviously there are. It's a Twinings tea caddy, and they've now expanded this sort of the fireplace room where they have. It's full of teas. I was nervous when I first got here. They moved the candy. They moved the candy, and I got really, really, really nervous. We're doing a very small review.
The funny thing is, I used to work for Twinings.
Really?
Yeah. They have 3 sites in the UK. One in London, of course. One in Newcastle and Andover, where I live. And I used to do IT computers. And I used to do the computer services on a shift basis. Doing shift work. But it was Twinings. So
I was here. So during the Flower and Garden, oftentimes they'll have. One thing you need to do, and I didn't get a chance to tape it last time, was the Twinings tea tour outside. But last time I was here, Mr. Twinings himself was here.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Hey,
so we had to chat a little bit about tea, and I'm sure I think I do my tea wrong because I don't always put milk in it. But
well, they vary all over the place. My wife has different. My wife from work, her work, she does the teas. They have about 4 lined up, all differently brewed, all differently set up because each one has a different way. You put the milk in first.
We could almost do a tea tour of and just get a whole bunch because there's probably 20 different teas that you can get here. They have some neat little sample packs.
I think you had a Yorkshire tea, weren't you? Yorkshire tea, I saw. So that's the yellow box of tea bags, and that's the builder's kind of tea, which is our favourite. And it's where we are. It's for hard water, which is where you get a lot more chalk in the water. Okay. So they designed the tea bags to help with that.
I love tea. I am a tea drinker, but over in this second section, this is where all the sweets are. And I've been exposed to some of these before, thanks to you and a couple of people, and Emma have brought some over to me in the past. I've seen some things that I've never seen here before. So let's take a little mini snack tour. You can tell me about some of the sweets, and then we'll grab a bunch and then sample ones that you think are good representations.
They are. There's quite a few here which I like. Obviously, you've got the Cadbury's, which is the box of chocolates I brought over for Lou, and we're looking at the moment.
And the Cadbury's are it's a different type of chocolate than like the Cadbury we might get here. It's a much milkier.
Yeah, it's got more cocoa butter apparently and a lot more milk, and that was something they introduced years ago, bringing more milk into it. So it then makes it a sweet, and that's what sweet should be. It should be nice and soft and not too bitter. So that's why our chocolate. No offence, but it's the best, and that's because it's got those lovely soft flavours in it that makes it a real sweet that you want more, you crave for more. So there's a few here that I love. And then obviously there's Nestles, which I'm just looking at in Roundtrees. Fruit pastels are good. Fruit gums. I got you wine gums, which is the Cadbury.
They didn't last very long, I'll tell you.
We used to always have the Mickey when we were kids because we used to think there were real wine in them. But no, they were just fruit. But it's just the way that they created them.
Right. So for us, it's like a soft gummy, almost like a dot or like a
almost like goofy gummy bears, but they're hard, a little bit harder than gummy bears. But they got the great juices and
But not everything here is chocolate. There's this English cream toffees. There's licorice, which is it's a little bit stronger of a licorice than what I think we get here. It's not a Twizzler.
No, I love strawberry Twizzlers. They're one of my favourites. I have to always take a load home because we don't get them in the UK.
Really?
No. The strawberry licorice Twizzlers are awesome. But we do get licorice, of course, but it's just that Twizzler is one of my favourites. Trebor extra strong mint, sir. Only if you wish. They're not as bad as you can get Fisherman's. I forgot what they're called, Fisherman's sweets, and they'll blow you brains out.
So these extra. I mean, it's almost like a warning as opposed to something. These are like super strong, like clear the nasal passages type.
Exactly, very much so. They'll clear almost anything. So it's one of those things you take when you just need something to help clear your nasals. Oh, Galaxy, yeah.
Galaxy Ripple.
Galaxy.
I got to stop using my best. Sorry, I'll stop.
I'm waiting for James Mason to come next. So yeah, animal bars. Yeah, Nestles. Again, Nestles do quite a lot of good chocolate and Galaxies.
Munchies.
Yeah. Again, all sorts of variations.
Are they chocolates or are they?
Yeah, chocolates with biscuit type stuff inside them.
Okay.
So yeah, you get a very.
And it seems like there's a lot of that. There's a lot of mixing of the sweet and.
As I say, McVitie's are over there, and everybody knows McVitie's digestives and hobnobs. They're the favourites, you know.
He's speaking Klingon to me. It doesn't even speak like.
So this section we're looking at the moment is I would call the boring section. This is where you get variants of chocolates and toffees, but the sweets are the Cadbury's and Mars bars and all those things. So what else we got here?
So butlers.
Oh yes,
they are. I like this. Purveyors of happiness.
Yeah, they're kind of an upper kind of glass of chocolate, class of chocolate type of thing. Oh, just Irish whiskey. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So Butler also makes on a higher shelf Irish whiskey, milk and dark chocolate truffles.
Yeah, something. To
and Irish whiskey toffee.
Yes, something to have late at night, I would think, on those, especially with the Irish whiskey in there. I'm just looking around to see what else.
So Fox's Glacier Mint, Aero Bubbles.
Yeah,
I've seen these before.
Yeah, normally, well, they're available now in this style, but the Aero bar is brilliant. The mint bar, Aero mint bar. Again, somebody was saying about, why didn't you bring Lou a mint bar? You're right. The Aeros are lovely as well. Another good set of chocolate. But that's from Nestles. That's it.
And they're Aeros because they're filled with little like air bubbles inside.
Yeah. That's correct. And we've just moved over, funny enough, to the other section of sweets. But this is
one thing I saw before. So Cadbury drinking chocolate. That's originally how chocolate was consumed, was as a beverage, right?
Yeah, it still is. My wife loves hot chocolate. It's one of her favourites, and mochos are kind of similar to that. But
is it a little bit different than American hot chocolate? Is it a much stronger?
Yeah, stronger, yeah. A lot of flavour and thickness to it, so she loves them. But I'm just looking over here. We just come over to this other side, and we've got malt loaf. Malt loaf's lovely. I love malt loaf.
Just so you know, when I hear malt loaf, I think something that doesn't look like. It says deliciously squidgy energy.
Yeah. It's a loaf bread style with raisins in it. Yeah, with raisins in it. It's really nice. But the funny thing is, I'm just looking at here, we're set to a selection here that has HP sauce next to it. Now, I was talking to Lou before, HP sauce, I didn't even know what was in it, but it's just a brown, spicy sauce. It's brilliant, a hottish kind of sauce. That you put on your bacon butties and chips if you wish.
Now wait, Emma has told me about the chip butties, which I've never had before. I think that's my one reason I need to come to the UK. A chip butty is basically like a potato chip sandwich?
Yep, exactly right, Lou. Bread, chips inside, mate, squash it. And then you've got your bacon, chip butty. And then you could do the same with bacon. So you do the same with that. And then
I used to do that as a kid, but I put Doritos in between two pieces of white bread. Don't judge me, but at least I had the right.
And don't forget, we mentioned also about the various crisp sandwiches you can make now, which is where you take away, you remove the ham, say, right, so you put crisps inside and crush it with the bread.
So is it just something that you, and forgive the ignorant question, is it something that you just, kids make at home, or you go out and buy?
No,
or
especially the crisp ones, that's you make yourself. They don't really make them elsewhere. You just have to get the bread and squeeze it together, put the crisps in the middle, and Bob's your uncle, and you've got a nice sandwich then, and away you go.
You were chatting before we started recording with a cast member from the UK, and you were all just sort of sharing stories about making your chip butties.
Yeah, it was great because Georgie, hello Georgie, helped me out and remind me of some other stuff, Georgie, and it was butties and stuff that came to light, and it was great chatting to her and remembering various bits. Even one of the adverts for the sweets, which is for Penguin, was an advert for penguins, so you'll see that around here in a minute, and we used to watch that when we were kids. So there's all those things that her and I were chatting about just now.
Well, I'm very sorry to interrupt, but Mary Poppins and I were just having a little chat, and we decided that'd be a good idea for you to actually be able to taste some of the chocolate. So we chose two. They're a little bit different to anything that you have in the US. Yeah. We've gone for a Terry's Chocolate Orange, which also had a very famous commercial as well.
Yeah. How'd that commercial go?
They're not Terry's, they're mine. It was Dawn French that did that one.
Do you remember the fries one? This is Turkish
Yeah,
delight.
the Turkish delight.
Turkish delight. That's how we used to
I
go.
do remember, yeah. But
And
that
it's
one's
Arabian.
yeah, it's
Nice
very
and
different
Arabian.
to anything you have. So I thought these two would be good for you to
Oh,
try.
thank you.
You're welcome to
So wait, I'm gonna have to try it right now while you're
Yeah.
standing here.
Yeah, yeah.
See what you think. This is the moment of truth.
I'm so nervous. So the fries, when you open up, it's sort of, it almost looks like layers of like tangerine slices.
Yep.
Chocolate orange.
Chocolate orange.
Oh, let me break the
Not
We
film.
have it, yeah. We actually have it in the shape of an orange, and it breaks off in segments in the UK as well, rather than just the bar. We'd have that at Christmas.
Yeah, they're just rounded to say thanks. Dave.
That's lovely.
It's lovely.
It is.
Good.
It's so nice. It's got you taste that hint of the citrusy orange, but it's not overpowering. And I see what you mean about, he was saying how the chocolate is much milkier than American.
But that one's made with real orange oil as well, so that's why the citrus flavour is a little bit bit stronger.
But it's not overpowering. Like it's really, really nice.
It's not like an orange liqueur kind of thing inside the chocolate. It's not like a jello or anything. It's just very subtle in the chocolate.
And by definition, it makes it healthy because there's fruit in it.
Well, absolutely.
1 year 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now we have to open up that Turkish delight. We need to.
Oh, yeah.
This one is you're either going to love it or you'll hate it. There's no in between
I've
with
heard.
this one.
I've heard of the Turkish delight.
This is almost like Marmite. Have you heard of Marmite?
I have. And somebody sent me Marmite from the UK.
Did you try it?
I didn't. I got really nervous. I'm like, it's been in transit for like 18 days. Maybe I shouldn't. But I heard the same thing. Marmite, you either love it or you do not love it.
It's got a massive tang to it, isn't it? Marmite power to it that you go, oh, you either like it, you're absolutely right, hate it. I don't like it. But the rest of my family.
And is it something that you have for? Is it a breakfast? A lot? Okay.
Yeah, it's a bread on
Put it
toast.
on toast.
Yeah, on toast. Yeah, Marmite on toast. But my family, the rest of them, all love it. Okay. So and in fact, it used to be during the war in the early days. The kids were brought up on Marmite and toast because it gave them all the vitamins and everything that was required. Okay. So it's almost like everything you would need, almost like a British Guinness in some respect in the drink. There's a lot of drink iron in that and so forth. The Marmite sandwiches were there to help for the kids, and so you were brought up on Marmite soldiers. Now Marmite soldier, I think Emma told you about Marmite soldiers, where it's the bread are cut into little strips.
Okay.
Fingers type of style, isn't it? But they were called soldiers. I don't know why, but we would have a boiled egg with soldiers, and you'd have the boiled egg, and the boiled egg is not fully boiled, so you'd smash the top and you still have yolk, and you'd dip the bread in soldiers, you see, and they were called soldiers, but you'd also have Marmite soldiers as well. So there you are, a bit of.
I'll have a full translation of this show on the show notes so we understand. So the Turkish delight, you can't really break it. Oh,
Try it.
Yeah, it's like a jello inside, so it's hard to break off. But a lot of people know what it is from the Chronicles of Narnia. Yeah, we have a lot of people come in and ask for it because that's what Edmund has from the White Witch.
It's weird.
What do you think?
It's
why I chose this one, because it's really different.
So it's definitely a textural thing, because the texture, it's not as hard as, it's. Wow, it's not a gummy bear. I'm trying to Americanize it. It's not a gummy bear, but it's also not a juji fruit. It's not super hard. It's not soft. It's it almost has like a creamy sort of consistent. I'm trying to articulate. I'll take another bite. Just. It's fruity but not sweet. What is? Do I even want to know what's in this gelatin?
Yeah, a lot of gelatin.
But what? I don't even know. I can't identify the flavor.
See. So there's no. Whenever people ask me to explain this one, I actually really struggle. It does have cocoa butter in it, and palm oil, a lot of milk as well, and a lot of glucose syrup. But it's just something that we kind of grew up with.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to explain the flavour, which is why I chose it for you, because it's very different to anything you'd have here.
And it's kind of Turkish in its naming because it sounds or it tastes very foreign to us, from the East type of thing, Middle East type of thing. So that's why it was called fries Turkish.
It's very different from any. I can't even compare it to anything.
I have to say it's not one of my favourites. No, it's a bit like Marmite. It's one of those ones you go, no thanks, I'd rather not.
Right, it's not. I was like, oh, maybe it's going to taste like a chocolate-covered gummy bear, and it doesn't.
No.
it's softer than a gummy and does not have the same type of sweetness.
You really have to have a sweet tooth for that one, I think, because it does make you sickly-ish after a while. So,
and I think there's a lot. I'm not going to. No disrespect to the Queen, I probably am not going to finish this only because we're sampling our way through. But at least I can say that I've tried. And I think that's part of the fun, right? I think you can come in here and talk to somebody like George, another cast member, ask them about some of the different sweets, and then for a couple of dollars, grab one or two and try them.
I was going to say, there's quite a wide selection here, which is great. And they've hit the nail on the head with a lot of the selection here, because they're the good ones from the UK. I'm really missing my digestives here.
So I've seen these before, all right? And they're McVitie's digestives, and I think digestive, and it almost sounds like something medicinal. But what is it?
It's a wheat-based biscuit. But the best part of it, which is hard to even speak at the moment looking at them, is that they're covered in chocolate on the top, and it's just that milk chocolate biscuit. And then I will have a full glass of milk type of thing with it. It's just it's awesome.
So it looks like some of them are plain. You can get, there's Cadbury ones, there's orange. Ones that are covered in orange, ones that are milk chocolate. And what's a hobnob? A hobnob?
Yeah, hobnobs. Again, it's another type of the biscuit, but it's more not flaky, what was it? Crumbly,
yeah.
It's got more crumbles. Texture to it.
Which I've had in some of the sweets that you brought me, which is the one that sort of flakes apart.
Cadbury's Flake?
Is that what it is? Called?
Yeah, the yellow one is the yellow covering, and that's flake. The chocolate in there is, as soon as you bite into it,
it just falls apart.
And I think the advert was only the crumbliest, milkiest chocolate, wasn't it? Because it would crumble as soon as you ate it, because it was so delicately made.
Right.
But one of the best. I mean, the other one I now have is was it triple? I forgot what it's called now. Is the alternative to it, so it's just a little bit stronger in terms of texture. I don't see it here at the moment.
So you have a club orange.
That's similar to the Terry's chocolate orange, actually, except it's a biscuit inside. It's a cookie, and you usually have that in your lunchbox or something when you're a kid at school. We'd have a
alongside your Jaffa cake.
Jaffa cake. You're one of the first people I've ever had in here to say that correctly. A lot of people call them Jaffa cakes. We have a show in the UK called the Great British Bake Off, that's just started again. It's on every summer. And it's like a cooking show. It's like a competition, but it's all baking. And their technical challenge was to make Jaffa cakes the other day. So it's a fatless sponge on the bottom with an orange jello in the middle and then dark chocolate on top. Ooh. So it's not a biscuit, so you wouldn't dunk it in your tea or anything. They're a little bit different, but you'd still have them in the same way as a biscuit, even though they're a cake, because they're very small. Okay. But they're absolutely delicious.
But I'm happy to see that not everything, because not everybody is a sweet chocolate. You have a ton of different tea biscuits: ginger lemon, honey almond, vanilla cream, lemon crisp, rosehip crisp, watermelon crisp, fine English biscuits. And these you have with your cup of tea, along with your rich tea biscuit.
Yeah, the most favourite one is rich tea. If you're going to dunk anything into your tea.
So wait, you dunk them in your tea?
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's actually quite a science to dunking that not many people realise that aren't British. So there's only a certain amount of time you can dunk different types of biscuits. So you could dunk a digestive for longer because it's more sturdy. Whereas when you dunk the rich tea, it becomes much softer as it starts to absorb the liquid, and it can break off, and that's an absolute disaster because then you have crumbs in the bottom of your cup.
No good in your tea.
No, it's awful. It's awful.
So you get a skill at that, dunking your rich teas very quickly, get it in there, get the tea all over it, and then have a good bite. And
I'm excited and confused all at the same time. So what I've seen, there's a monstrous, it's like a giant Wonka bar called a penguin. Pick up a penguin.
I can't even say it. Penguin. That's how the advert goes. Again, it's a kind of biscuit which is used to have in your lunchbox going to school, and you just single little, almost like finger soldiers, in that size, and they're just ideal snacks. But they're a biscuit based with chocolate around again.
Now I know I don't know who Mrs. Crimble is, but I do know what a chocolate macaroon is. And now you're speaking my language.
Yeah, there's no difference there. They're the same either way in that respect. We've accommodated those as well, so they're wonderful.
One of the things that we've sampled at home is a jammy dodger. Is this something that you have with your tea as well?
Yes and no. It's almost with anything, isn't it? A jammy dodger you just have any time you like, because jammy dodgers are lovely. Again, the UK's into sweets and biscuits. We really love it in our sponge cakes.
I see there's cream crackers, toffee biscuits, vanilla
There you go,
biscuits.
biscuits, yeah.
So Crawford's Garibaldi, golden crispy biscuits filled with currants.
Yeah, they're wonderful. Thin slices, again, with the raisins in them or currants. And another wonderful snack. Actually, I cheat. I dunk that into my tea. So, yeah.
Obviously, I wouldn't dunk a Garibaldi. Like, I would never dunk a Jaffa cake. I'd never dunk a Garibaldi.
They're a lot stronger. So they'll take it for me. It's like, great. Whereas I say, never do a Jaffa. But I don't. I cheat. I do those.
He's so unrefined.
No, I'm from the Southwest. Maybe we do it differently.
Sorry, Mum.
So what else do we have? These are Lion bars and Caramax.
Yeah, just a straight bar of caramel. That is the Caramax. But the Lion bars, they're very good. Again, look, variations of chocolate, biscuit, toffee, all into one bar, and they're good. Bit like I gave you a picnic with the Cadbury's.
Yeah.
The difference with the picnics is they've got raisins in them. These haven't got raisins, and that's kind of the difference. There may be others who dispute and go, oh, no, it's totally different. But to me, they're very similar, just slightly different in that respect.
And your Cadbury cream eggs look very different than our Cadbury cream eggs.
So with our cream egg, we can't actually sell the cream eggs themselves here. They only come out at Easter time, but we have the cookies at the moment. Our yolk inside, it's all sugar inside. It's not a real yolk. It's not a real egg. It's chocolate with a liquid sugar inside. But in the American ones, they're very light in colour, whereas ours is a really dark yellow. Goodness knows what's actually in it to make it that colour. But they are delicious. You get them all over your face when you try and eat a cream egg. Fast food chains will turn them into ice cream and things like that. But
Do you have Easter eggs here?
Yeah.
Do you do Easter eggs? Well, we do the Cadbury's cream eggs, the miniature eggs.
Right.
Just full of those elements of goodness. Chocolate covered, and inside is the gooey style of egg. Oh, it's awesome, isn't it? But it's a real goo. It's good. When you break it.
I wish this was video. You guys are so excited. You're staring into each other's eyes like, oh, remember the cream?
Yeah, it's one of those.
So here's something I've never seen before, and I think for a lot of people this might be a holy grail of foods. They're Guinness potato chips. You just call them chips, crisps. What do you call these?
Crisps.
There's a Guinness rich chili and a thick cut hand cooked potato chip, as well as Bert's sort of your equivalent of our Lay's. Is it a major?
we do have Lay's in the UK, but they're called Walkers, actually. We have a different name. Bert's is more like a kettle chip kind of thing, so they're baked a little bit differently. They're a bit thicker than a Lay's would be. And they're much more intense flavour. One thing that I have noticed living in America is you don't have the flavour cheese and onion here. You have sour cream and onion.
That's right, yeah.
I miss cheese and onion crisps a lot. They're so good. We don't actually have them here right now, but
I'm gonna have to confess, I left a bag at home for you. Sorry, mate. It was a whole.
I'll wait. I'll wait.
It was the Walker crisps. They're what they call them, variation bag, and so there's
prawn cocktail crisps. Oh.
Prawn cocktail, don't you?
Yeah.
Like shrimp cocktail?
Yeah, it doesn't taste like shrimp cocktail at all.
I've had them in Japan, like shrimp flavored chips, and they're actually delicious.
They are. We've got prawn cocktail, cheese and onion, salt and vinegar. They've got some other ones as well. Just trying to remember what it is. There's another one.
Just so you know, this conversation alone is making me move up our WDW group trip to the UK up much higher on the calendar.
This is a positive move then, isn't it? We're doing the right thing.
So I think we need to sample a number of different things. Maybe we'll grab like an Aero bar. So what do you think? So to get sort of a nice sampling of different flavors, let's sort of pick like 5 things and just make sure you pick the right ones, because I know there's ones I'm already eyeing. Do we need like a tea? Well, I will not impart my wishes. I will just let you guys decide.
And cheese.
Georgie, this is your.
Oh my goodness, I'm feeling the pressure here. I get asked this every day, but now I feel like a lot of people are listening to this. This is a lot more pressure.
All right, let's pick one. Let's pick a biscuit. We have to get some sort of biscuit-based one.
Well, I think it's going to be the digestives.
You've got to go for them.
And milk chocolate, and it comes like in a can, like almost. It almost looks like a little soda
It's a grab
can.
and go kind of
Yeah.
pack. We wouldn't always have it like that in
Okay.
the UK. Usually they're just wrapped in plastic, but that's one to take with you.
That's ours. But these are dark chocolate, which my wife loves, but I hate. Yeah, Georgie's.
Oh, Georgie's shaking it. No, dark chocolate.
Her and I.
It's good. Dark chocolate's a superfood. It's good for you.
After eights are fine with dark chocolate, but anything else, the UK does have a very sweet tooth in general. We have a lot of milk chocolate. A lot of our candy bars are made with milk chocolate. rather than
And your
dark.
sweets are very sweet.
Yes.
Your sweets are very, very sweet.
Yes, I mean that's
You
why-
need something to get you through those cold, rainy days. Yeah.
Yeah, the sweets are the best thing because they are so nice. The dark chocolate my wife loves, but you're right. The only ones I will try, and normally it's at Christmas, is the After Eights, and that's got a mint softness in the middle, bit almost like the Cadbury's cream egg, but it's a mint within the middle. But it's a very thin,
cream
yes,
kind of
exactly.
thing
It's a very
inside.
thin biscuit style look, but it's just chocolate with this mint sort of mint.
I have no idea how everybody in the UK is not 900 pounds. But okay, so we have our milk chocolate digestives. What's next? What do you recommend that's next?
Have you had a Mars bar before?
So
Have you had a Mars bar?
I think I have a Mars
I
bar.
believe
Helps
we
your work,
have
Kristen.
them in the States.
I think
I've seen them before. But whether you've tried them is the
I wonder if it's the same Mars bar that I had when I was a kid. So the Bounty is your version of a Mounds bar, correct? Dark chocolate and coconut.
Milk chocolate.
Milk chocolate.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
No dark. No dark.
So Almond Joy is milk
I
chocolate.
said, don't go to the dark side. This is
I see. I like dark chocolate. I'm a dark chocolate guy.
oh,
But all right.
right. No, there's milk for us. Just looking around to see what else.
Tried an arrow before?
That's got to be tried.
All right. So you have to pick your favorite arrow because it looks like you have.
Yeah. I always recommend to guests that come to visit us the mint ones. A lot of people are scared of the mint ones that aren't from the UK because they're worried that it'll be a very pepperminty flavour, but it's not at all. It's very, very subtle and it's delicious. I used to have these after my swimming lessons if I'd done well. It depended. there was a vending machine on the way out, you know. But yeah, a lot of children are scared to try these. They always go for the milk chocolate ones that we have. But arrows are unlike anything you have here because it's almost like a solid mousse inside. It's bubbly. Is how I describe the texture. So they're very interesting if you wanted to give those ones a go.
This is the opportunity for us, me, and the person that's listening to expand our culinary horizons and try something different. So the more different, the better.
I was going to say the trouble with the British way of describing things does put people off. It's like mince pies. You know, it's not mint, beef mince. It's a fruit mince, but they call it mince. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. So in Christmas we would have mince pies, and they're delicious, but they're a mixture of various fruits.
I actually have an interesting fact about mince pies. They're actually illegal to eat at Christmas time. When Henry VIII changed the entirety of the country, he made eating mince pies at Christmas because they were seen as a religious thing illegal. And they just never changed the law since. So it's actually illegal. Obviously, we all do it. You're not going to be penalised for it. But yeah, in actual fact, by UK law, they are illegal to eat on Christmas Day.
Wow. CUV and illegal to eat mince pies. Wow, he did a lot.
All right, so we have a digestive and an arrow. Thank you. Gonna run out of hands here soon.
What See, this Ripple's the same as the ones you've already had, the Cadbury's. They did various ones.
And those are the ones that are very flaky inside?
Yeah. This one's a harder style Ripple, but it's a similar style of chocolate. So it's very, very, very nice, but similar to what you've had. So it's just trying to capture something that's...
Well, I've had a lot of things at home that you brought, but for sharing purposes, I don't mind trying something again.
What about the Munchies?
I've had the Munchies before, but not the Munchie candy bar.
Oh, right. Okay. Munchies are good. I like Munchies.
I usually get the Munchies about 12:30 at night, which is how I got this incredible figure. Sorry?
Now, you've already... I think we gave you a crunchy bar, didn't we? They've got the crunchy cookies here.
Yeah, which is almost like a honeycomb type texture inside.
There's honeycomb, as I say, covered again with lovely milk chocolate, and it's such a taste. It's great. It sparkles in your mouth, as they call it.
It's very... it's light, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're down. We got 3.
Do you have you tried the Jaffa cakes then? Do you want to try?
Let's get a Jaffa cake.
Do you want to try a Jaffa cake, mate? Now they are lovely. Oh, mind you, there's not much that isn't in here, is it? That's the thing. There's so much in here. And you've had your jammy Dodgers.
So are these Guinness crisps something that you normally have, or is it more just...
Yeah, variations in crisps. We just have crisps all the time.
Get that rich chili. It's a little spice in our spice in our day.
And I like these. These are the thick cut style, so you get variations in the thickness of the chip. And these are good chunky ones. So yeah, that'd be a good one, especially as it's rich chili in a hot day. It'd be lovely.
Nice. All right, so let's grab our stuff. We'll go outside and we will eat our way around the UK. Martin, my friend, as if today couldn't get any more wonderful. It is a blue sky. It is a light day here at Epcot. We just had some fish and chips. We met an exceptional cast member, as you are often to find in throughout Walt Disney World. We have our spot in the shade with our table full of snacks, and I love the live music that you find, especially here in Epcot. This is one of the things that I love, being able to walk through a pavilion, and you don't necessarily have to have it on a schedule or look at a times guide, but when you come across it, it just adds such a nice atmosphere and ambiance to the experience. And whether you just sort of stop for a moment or listen, or like us, we have a wonderful spot outside the Rose and Crown again, to be able to listen to the background. This is just lovely.
This is what memories are made of. This is really good. You got the great weather, it's beautiful, and the great live entertainment just next to us here playing away. Again, you might get that in the cities. You won't get it in the village, that's for sure, where we are. So it's really nice to hear it, because you just don't get to have that chance, that option. So this is brilliant. What a day.
Yeah, this is wonderful. And it's going to get only better. We've got 5 different UK snacks to try. I'm going to follow your lead, Martin. You go through in whatever order you think is appropriate, and I will sample along the way. I'm
sure most will go with me in this one. I'm going for the Aero. I love mint Aero. Wonderful chocolate. Again, not one that I brought for Lou this time, but I'm so glad that the tea caddy had it.
So I'm really curious to have this, because so it's
smell the mint already. Cool.
Yeah. So when I first saw this, I wondered. The first thing that came to mind was sort of peppermint patty. That's okay. We're all friends here. But it's all, it's sort of a rectangular, and I'll post photos. But it's sort of a rectangular chocolate bar. And instead of like little miniature bars, it's almost little miniature bubbles.
It's a kind of mousse, a sweet style of mousse of chocolate that is, yeah.
I didn't wait for you. I'm just going.
You've got it already. You know straight away, sir. That
it's very, very light. I mean, almost you don't even taste anything inside, but you get such a nice. It's almost not as strong of a flavor as a peppermint patty would be.
No.
Which has a much thicker sort of peppermint cream in it. This is, it almost has that sort of honeycomb type look to it.
Yeah, a lot of our sweets, they do tend not to kind of go over the top on elements, so you can enjoy almost every piece of it, because obviously they want you to enjoy that, to have more.
Oh, that's really, really nice.
Yeah.
And I'm not normally a mint person, but I really like that. Again, it's akin to a milk chocolate peppermint patty, but with that green
mousse.
It is almost like a mousse, but it's not. There's no. It's not a heavy, creamy type mousse.
No, it's just. I think Georgie said she used to get it as a treat after she did swimming. Same here. It's one of those ones you would go for. The creme de la creme type of thing, because it's got all those great flavours that really bounce around in your mouth.
And the bar is not huge, so you can actually eat the whole thing. It wouldn't be, it's not an overwhelming amount for the bar. Well, that's really nice. And this, it's, to give you an idea, it's $3.45 for the bar. So obviously you're paying a bit of a premium, as you would if you were to buy a peppermint patty. But it's nice to be able to try something like that. That's I would actually come back for that and have that again.
I'll send you some over then, because it's a lot cheaper obviously in the UK. And I'll send you some over, because that was one I did miss off, and minstrels and a couple of others that were Nestles. You see, I got the Cadbury set. Right. I'll get you the Nestles set for next time, because you got to try them all.
Yeah,
you must try them all.
That's very good. Yeah, and the Munchies are Nestle's as well, and then Okay.
Yeah, well, I was noticing in there, and talking to Georgie, they don't have many Cadbury's chocolate in there because I think they're not allowed to bring him in or something. So there's some issues there. So Nestles are already in there, Nestle's.
Okay.
So I'm so glad you've got the Cadbury's, so you know what that style's like compared to this set. So we've actually got a whole lot now. We've done the range, so you've got it all, and we've also got.
I'm gonna have to run around this promenade like 18 times to walk off this meal. But all right, so we've done the Aero. That gets like on a scale from 1 to 5. I might give that like a 4.5, 5. Like I could eat that. All right. I won't judge until I've seen them all.
Save it. It's a 5. That's for you later because you will want to go back to it.
That's not even going to make it to the car, but all right. That's walking food right there.
And it should not because it's that good. Yeah. It's well worth it. What should we try? Should we try the Munchies?
I think we should stay in the chocolate family and go to the Munchies next.
Yeah. Okay, I'll open them for you.
And the Munchie is it's probably 6-7 inches long, and it's a square. It's shaped like a square. Oh, so they're little individual.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they're actually little. All right. I'm going to try and Americanize. They're shorter, square Rolos is sort of the size.
You hit the nail on the head because these are Rolos really in a way, but with a biscuit. So you've obviously had Rolos then?
Yeah.
I see another one.
So, wait a minute. I didn't get a good enough flavor. I got to try that one again. Hold on.
Please take another one, sir.
That's really nice because it's got I guess it's caramel.
Yeah.
And I love the texture of the biscuit.
So that's almost like we also have Twix. Mm-hmm. And you've got Twix here, haven't you? So it's a similar thing, but a smaller version of this in the way it's made. So instead of having the whole Twix finger, you've got a little...
And I like the fact that they're little bite-sized.
Yeah.
You sort of just pop them in your mouth.
Yeah, nice and easy. Very...
it makes you feel like you're eating less calories when you eat them in smaller... I mean, of course, there's like 18 of them, and there's a lot... Wow, there's a lot in here.
Sorry, I've almost ate half of them, because they are good. Yeah, they don't make you feel so guilty, do they?
Not at all. It's like eating nothing. Wow, that's really good. I dig me a Munchies.
I do as well. I'm sorry, I've got a mouthful of them. They're very, very nice.
Remember the Arrows?
I don't.
I'm so over the Arrows. I've moved on from my Arrow relationship.
Yeah, and that's the trouble. Once you start tasting all these flavours, you've got a lot to go through.
Oh, all right. Well, you open up something else. I'm just going to have one more of these little Munchies. And what's nice, too, is they're shareable. Because they're...
Yeah, you're right. Because it's not the Twix where you just got 2 fingers. Mm-hmm. 2 bars, you've got little chunks.
Oh, look, wait. They're resealable.
Oh, excuse me.
Look at that. You can just sort of...
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do that. I got so much chocolate on my fingers now.
Right. Now, you have to try that first.
All right, so these are the Jaffa cakes.
Yeah, Jaffa.
Jaffa. They are 10 spongy cakes with that squidgy orange center. Centre. You guys spelled center wrong. I mean, we spell center wrong. So... They're exactly as they sound. You can already feel that they're a soft biscuit with the top half is covered. It looks like a little UFO.
I was just about to say, I don't normally do this because we just eat them, but we're examining them, and I exactly thought the same as Lou. They look like a UFO.
So wow! Oh my goodness! Oh, I wish I had a little spot of tea. If they had like a tea bar, that's what they need. I got to go talk to her.
Yeah.
They need a tea bar where you can go and actually get yourself a spot of tea, and you come outside with your Jaffa cake.
Yep.
So it's that's so. I love the
flavors. You've got obviously the chocolate, which we all love. Then you've got a jam, which is the Jaffa in a way, and then you've got the soft biscuit underneath, which is not really a biscuit. It's almost.
It's almost like I'm trying to sort of. Compared to something Americanized, it's almost like a soft Nilla wafer. It's a larger, softer Nilla wafer with chocolate and a wonderful citrusy jam on top, almost like a thin little slice of... I have to try this. Wait a minute.
Well, yeah, like we said, we had just after the fish and chips, almost like a miniature sponge cake. It's a very spongy kind of texture to it. With the orange Jaffa, the citrus jam.
So that's what Jaffa is? Is that citrus? That's what Jaffa...
Yes, yeah, that's what it's about.
Remember when I broke up with Munchies and I moved on to my Jaffa cake?
I think it's with age we forget the other ones, don't we? We just move on. But the taste...
Don't look at the calorie count. What are you doing, man? Oh no, you're trying to see what's in it.
I was just checking. But again, it's these things. When we're in the UK, we like them, we eat them. I don't really know what's in them. Yeah, they're golden sponge. So I was right. Yeah, golden sponge base with an orange flavoured jelly.
Oh, wait a second. So if I take a quick look at this, there's only... Oh, I thought it said 1 gram of fat. It says 11. Yeah, don't look at that. It's in the UK, and with the conversion system, it's like half a gram.
Don't forget the heat is making us sweat that lot out anyway.
I really, really like the Jaffa cake.
There you go. That's a good lot to take home. Well, I'm sure they'll make it to the car park.
Oh, I don't know. I might just sit. You know what? If the weather stays like this and we stay in the shade and that lovely band keeps playing all day, I might not. Wait a minute. Is today Wednesday? I might be doing the show from here tonight.
This is the perfect spot. You've hit the nail on the head. We're in the shade. We can see everything across the UK. We've got the live entertainment music playing. And we can see over the bridge over to France if we wish.
There's food, there's restrooms. I don't need to leave. I'm just going to...
And a British telephone box. Can't feel any better at home without a British red telephone box.
The hat lady, I think she comes to play later on this evening inside the pub, so...
Oh, right.
All right, so I think that I would assume we're going to go with digestive next and then finish off with the chips.
Chips, yeah. This is good. You've got a resealable box. Ah, okay. And you open up the bag and put them back in. Right, now you have one of these. Have one of these, mate.
So these are the McVitie's digestives.
Yeah, McVitie's.
So this is a bit of a larger biscuit.
Yeah.
Almost sort of it looks like a waffle texture on top and a very, very thin layer of milk chocolate.
Yeah, it's the original digestive biscuit in some respects, and then they've put chocolate on top, which is making it so good.
Now, you would have this, a cup of tea?
Mouthful.
That's okay.
Yes, all over types of drinks. Because like I said before, I have this with a glass of milk type of thing. It's a lovely little snack you can have.
I do like that biscuit.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a very, very thin layer of chocolate, so the dominant flavor is the biscuit, but you do get that little bit of sweetness at the top of the palate, which is really, and I think you're right, a cold glass.
Yeah.
Do they sell cold glasses of milk at the Yorkshire County Fish Shop?
We do like our treats in the UK in that respect. We have to have something to entertain us while it's cold and wet. And so this is all, again, it's quite strange having it here when it's so hot, because the chocolate is melting faster than normal. That's the other thing here. You're always wiping your hands, or licking them, I should say, to get...
What do you mean wiping your hands? Wipe them, yeah, you don't waste that. That's good chocolate right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, so this is obviously, which of these things is not like the other. This is very different because it's a biscuit-based treat as opposed to a chocolate-based treat.
Yeah, you've got sweets there, the biscuits here, and the Jaffa cakes. There's always a battle between that's a sweet and a biscuit and a cake.
And I think that's a nice balance right there. I think it's a really nice balance between the sweet and the biscuit.
I'm so glad you got Jaffa cakes. They're good.
Yeah, I really like this. I like it, and I like the fact that it's a little resealable. It's almost like a little mini Pringles tin. Again, I'm trying to sort of relate it to something. For those of you who are listening, I'll post a picture of what these look like. But
what I did for you is that I don't know what others feel like, but I do. Chocolate has to be cold. So for you, for instance, the box I kept in the fridge until we met, because you've got to have it. Like these biscuits now are kind of like melting in your hand. You don't want to lose the chocolate.
And that one that you gave me that was very, very flaky, I sort of bit into it and it sort of just crumbled. It sort of fell apart. My assumption after I had it was I should have put this in the fridge to chill a little bit and maybe it wouldn't have crumbled as quickly.
Yeah, even though it sounds like a Cadbury's flake. They've got another version which I've forgotten what the name was, but it's twirl. And I like the twirls more because you don't lose so much. So the flakes are great, great taste. Twirls they're a little bit harder in their texture, but same style of chocolate and wonderful again.
Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, so last but not least, we're going to venture away from the sweet with a Guinness rich chili, thick cut, hand cooked potato chip.
I was saying to Lou, normally we would have Walker crisps. I'm not really doing the Guinness crisps, and I do apologise. I left a bag for Lou at home of Walker crisps, but we'll give this a go because we all love crisps.
Give a go.
Go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow, you really get hit with that smell of the chili. But see, now this is right in my wheelhouse because I love potatoes. I love fried foods. I love things that have a little bit of the savory with a little bit of heat to them as well. Oh, Yahtzee. Absolutely. I hope you don't like that.
It's very hard for me not to like food. It's one of my things. I do like food. But yeah, wow.
So it's chili, and you would think that it'd have a very spicy, but it doesn't. It's got a little bit of heat in the back of the palate, but not something that's certainly. I mean, I've obviously had, hotter things like sriracha chips and stuff like that. That's not hot at all.
That's a cool chili, isn't it, really? It's a lot more flavour. And obviously, because it's a thick cut as well, the chips are great. I love thick cut chips. This is a thick cut, hand cooked potato chips. Yeah. And you're right.
Martin, I really, really like that one a lot. Hold on a second.
Cool.
That is, so it says, continuing our mission to take taste buds to new extremes. Why don't you read it? Because when you read it, it just sounds better.
Thanks. Continue our mission to take taste buds to new extremes. We've taken fresh... you'll have to get me on that one.
Jalapeno.
That'll do, thanks, mate. Jalapeno chilies. And infused the world's most iconic stout. To create Guinness rich. That's
okay.
what it is.
So that's what tempers the heat, I think, a little bit.
Yes. Not for the faint-hearted. These thick-cut, hand-cooked crisps packed some serious punch with rich, deep layers of authentic flavour.
Yep.
That will have you coming back crunch after crunch. Yeah, now I get it, the stout.
Yeah. And so that's why it's not so incredibly spicy. But I think that description is very accurate because there are layers of flavor. You get the salty, you get the crunch of the chip, you get a little bit of that heat too. That's really, really nice.
I wish I had my glasses and I couldn't see jalapeno.
Oh, here, I'll give you my... You can take my glasses now.
Yeah.
See, I'll distract you with the glasses, and I'll have another one of these. I wish these came in family size bag, which family size for me is like single serving.
All right, they call them rich chili Bert's chips. I don't know if it's Bert from Mary Poppins. But yeah, whether in the pub, gathered on the sofa of your Saturday night TV fix, or round your mates for the weekend match, Guinness rich chili Bert chips are your perfect snacking partner. Yeah, again, UK, we love snacks. Desserts, puddings, snacks, sweets.
So I'll translate that to it. So that means Sunday afternoon, sitting on the couch watching the Giants. That's really, really nice. That's
very, very nice. I do like them. Yeah, I say it keeps coming back, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sort of lingers there a little bit, but not in an offensive kind of way. Or not in I need to wash this down with something.
That's what the stout really helps on that. Very nice indeed. Very clever Guinness.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. It's not the flavor I was expecting from that.
No, that surprised me because again, it's not a pack we normally go for. It's normally the Walker's crisps that we choose.
And that's what I was wondering when we were getting it, because I was looking for your reaction and her reaction to see, is this something that's more of a novelty for sort of the Americans that are coming through, or is it something that you would go to the grocery store and pick up?
It's probably there at the grocery store, but it's not the common one that we all go for. Walker's Crisps is the big one, right. Because for the family, you would choose definitely ones not with stout in them, and go for, like we were saying about the cheese and onion, which you don't have here.
Which is a crime in my book, the fact that we don't have it here.
And salt and vinegar and a few others, which have come out with all sorts of
flavors. I love salt and vinegar. Yeah. Salt and vinegar potato chips.
Yeah. Crisps.
Sorry.
So yeah, that's I think it's especially for here, so that it advertises some elements as well.
All right, so if I had to rank these in order, which is not fair, I think that the chips, the crisps, have to sort of be off on their own because they're not a sweet like the other one.
But again, you see, you've got biscuits, Jaffa, Airman.
It's a wide spectrum. We're going from the sweet side through the savory side. I think that we sort of took this journey the right way because we sort of moved slowly into the savory. The Jaffa cake was phenomenal. I love that. I love the Guinness. So if I had to put them in order,
Yep.
man, I do love me a crisp. Like if I had to sit down on the couch and watch a football game, which is what we call football in America, I would get 18 bags of the rich chili crisps.
Right.
But notwithstanding that, I would then go, in terms of the sweets, I'd go Jaffa Cake, the Munchies, the digestives in the air.
I know. It's so hard to mix and choose. It's like your kids, isn't it?
But yeah, I mean, it's a really nice, and I think we've got a really nice spectrum of some of the different things that you can find in there. And that's the whole point of this, was not just an excuse for you and I to get together and eat our way through the United Kingdom, but to let people understand that there may not be an attraction, there might not be a show, but you can come here and spend some time with your mates or your kids or your spouse or whatever it might be. And for not a lot of money, you can really get a nice sampling of the different flavors. You can make a game out of it. You can make it, something that's fun. We're sitting here in the shade. You can go sit down by the water. And I think the customer we have is an example of the exceptional customers. She was so excited to share a little taste of her home with us, and I think you'll find that same experience in any of the pavilions.
I think you've hit it on there. It's perfect. I mean, please come and try the fish shop. The fish and chips what a way to start. That was so soft. And again, you'd look at that and think, well, it's going to be quite heavy. It wasn't. It wasn't heavy at all. So we were able to take our sample and have a go at that, and then move on to the lovely sweet shop, which it's always my favourite because it's sweets. Brought up with wanting to have, when we were kids, always wanting to go to the sweet shop, get our variants of sweets. Even in those days, we also had things called humbugs and stuff like that in jars, and you'd get all those as well. So those old days have gone, really, but you used to
like walking into a sweet shop and like at the beginning of Willy Wonka with Charlie Bucket running in there.
That's it. Yeah, it was. We had shops like that in the UK, and you'd go in there, and you'd have, on the shelves would be jars of various sweets and humbugs and stuff like that you could choose. Rather than at the moment, you get the packets, which is fine, but it's just great to see some of the old shops still exist here. I was talking to Georgie and say the cast member, she was saying the same. So where she is, they've got one of those shops, and they're not many, but they're there. Right. But yeah, you can sample here at the moment so many variants of where the UK is, and it's pretty good. They've really got it marked off well. I quite like it. Do miss Cadbury's, of course.
And there were some in there. There were some Cadbury. Right. I think I've had so much of it before that I wanted to try some of the different.
There was the Cadbury's Crunchies, but they were the cookie style rather than the bars. But again, there's such a variation. They've got to grab and show you, isn't it? Because we do have. I've never really thought of it like that because, you're used to it at home, aren't you? Yeah. Now I've seen it, I think, yes, crikey, we've got quite a few. I say Mary Poppins got lots, isn't it? And so we have a big choice that we don't really sometimes appreciate till we come over here and go, oh, I'm missing this, I'm craving that. So you can come here, come to the UK Pavilion and really live and get some of those samples back, especially.
And so I invite you, my friend, who is sitting in this empty chair beside us, but sharing in this afternoon with us, I invite you to do, not maybe on the scale of what we did, but to come to the UK, come to any pavilion, and go in and sample one or more of the snacks. Talk to the cast member, and better yet, let me know what you think. You can call the voicemail from the UK Pavilion, 407-900-9391. Let me know what you tried. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear it in your best, really bad English accent, as I have been doing all day. I apologize for butchering the Queen's English as I have. But Martin, my friend, thank you so much for taking me on and joining me for this wonderfully sweet and savory and tasty culinary journey through your home country.
It's been an honour, Lou. Thank you so much for inviting me. This has been, it's been a great holiday anyway, but this has topped it. This has been a fantastic time, and today's been, wow, what a perfect day.
So now what's going to happen is I have to come to the UK, and then you've got to take me through, and I'll see how well the UK compares with Epcot.
You're going to have to come down to the little villages and have a look around there and see what they actually do in local style rather than the big cities. But that's where I live. I live in the local villages rather than the big city. So yeah, you'll be more welcome.
I would love to, the group trip to the UK and Paris that I've been planning and talking about for years has just moved way farther up on the list of things to do. Thank you so very much, my friend. I sincerely appreciate your time. I appreciate you. And, of course, God save the Queen.
Thank you very much, Lou. Cheers.
We can finish this now. We don't have to, we can stop recording and just keep. Yeah. Oh, these rich chili chips are not. No, I mean it would be. I think it's actually a crime in the UK if you don't finish your chips.
I mean, there's a lot to have here and a lot of time to do it.
That's right. It's time for our Walt Disney World Trivia Question of the Week, where I invite you to test your knowledge of Walt Disney World's history, or see how well you pay attention to the details, not just in what you see, but like last week, in what you hear. If you think you know the answer, you can enter for a chance to win a Disney Prize package. But before we get to this week's question, we're going to go back, review last week's, and select our winner. So last week, I wanted to try something new and make it easier for you to enter and to win, and it was Walt Disney World Fill in the Blank, where I would give you a line from an attraction or a show, or something you might even see on a poster or a sign, and then all you have to do is just fill in the blank with the words or words that complete the sentence. So I wanted to kick off the new segment with something relatively easy and inspired by the time I had spent in Tomorrowland right before I recorded the show. And it came from a classic and still one of my favorites, Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress. And your fill in the blank was, Jimmy, hurry up with that blank. And based on the nearly 1,000 correct entries we got last week, you all knew that the correct answer is...
Well, there, you blow a fuse. Crap, that's the third one this week. I buy fuses by the case. And I've blown the whole neighborhood again.
He did it again! Go over and give that neighbor of ours what for!
Easy, Rover. Jimmy, hurry up with that fuse.
Shucks. Every time he has company, he blows a fuse. And guess who always has to change it?
I heard that, young man. I heard that.
Oh, well, that's more like it.
So congratulations and thanks to everyone who entered. I took all of the correct entries, randomly selected one, and again, as always, you are playing for the 102 ways to save money for and at Walt Disney World book, all 7 of my virtual audio tours of the Magic Kingdom, a WDW Radio Magic Band cover for when you go to the parks, some WDW Radio stickers, and the brand spanking new hot and cold travel mug, not available in stores or anywhere else other than by winning it here. And last week's winner, randomly selected, is P. Vaughn. So P, congratulations. I have your information because you did fill out the online form. I will get your prize package out to you right away. If you played last week and didn't win, that's okay, because here's your next chance to enter in this week's Walt Disney World Trivia Challenge. So we're going to switch parks and head on over to Epcot Center this week, as long as we're over there in the UK and Food and Wine is going on. We'll take a break by going over to the Universe of Energy and tell me, the final Jeopardy question in Universe of Energy is, what is blank? Fill in the blank and tell me, what is the final Jeopardy question in Ellen's Universe of Energy adventures? And you have until Sunday, September 25th at 11:59 p.m. to email your answer, or better yet, go to WDWRadio.com, click on this week's podcast, use the form right there, fill in your shipping information, so if you do win, I can send you your book, your audio tours, your Magic Band cover, some stickers, and the hot and cold travel mug. So good luck and have fun. I mean, what is good luck and have fun, Alex? That's going to do it for this week's show. Thank you again so very much for taking the time to spend and share with me and tuning in this week. Special thanks to everybody who came out to the meet of the month at Sleepy Hollow Refreshments this past weekend in the Magic Kingdom, or that I saw over the weekend at Epcot during the Food and Wine Festival as I broadcast and grazed my way around it. I was not the first to pass that way, nor shall I be the last. I also want to thank some members of the WDW Radio Nation family, including a bunch of new members this month, including Ruffin Michael 82, Karen Lucy, Michael Camp, Corey Bassett, Tom Nolan, and Zach Finley. I sincerely appreciate you and all that you do to help support the show And if you want to find out how to join the Nation family and get exclusive rewards every month, like scavenger hunts, access to our private Facebook group, personalized Magic Band covers, logo gear, t-shirts, monthly care packages from Walt Disney World, special live video group calls, and lots more, you can visit wdwradio.com/support. Also, quick reminder that The Purge is still going on, and by The Purge, I mean the purge of the boxes and boxes and boxes of Disney collectibles that I have accumulated over the years that have been in my garage, and it's time to let them go and share them with you. I have everything from documents to books to attraction scripts and cast member materials and lots more. New auctions begin and end every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. To see this week's auctions, visit wdwradio.com/eBay. And I hope you know that I am not only grateful for the ability to share my passion for Disney with you through the show, but I would love to hear from you. So if you have an email you want answered on the show, you can email me, lou@wdwradio.com. Call the voicemail. Better yet, call the voicemail from the parks at 407-900-9391. You can tweet me, Facebook me, Instagram me at Lou Mongello, and also like the page over at facebook.com/WDW Radio. And please help spread the word. Invite others to as well. Of course, you know, especially if you came to the Meet of the Month this past week or any of our meets or events in the past, well, I love connecting with you online. Nothing beats a handshake and a hug. That is why I do monthly meetups in Walt Disney World. We do special events and cruises. You can click on the events page over at facebook.com/WDW Radio. The next Meet of the Month in October, still working on an exact date, probably going to be close to the middle of the month. Don't have that locked in just yet. But I would love for you to join us next June 25th through the 30th for our Double Dip Castaway Cay Cruise. Listen, Disney cruises are better when they are shared with friends, and even more betterer when you have two stops at Castaway Cay. For more information, visit wdwradio.com/2017 cruise. Also, I do other events, not just in the parks, but on the road as I travel to speak at conferences and schools. And to find out how I can maybe come to help you, your school, your business, your event, you can visit loumongello.com. Speaking of events, there is still a little bit of availability left for my event coming up October 15th and 16th in Walt Disney World. It is called Momentum, and it is a way for you, no matter where you are on your journey, to help you pursue your passion while you build and grow your business and brand. And unlike other events, this is going to be very small, limited to just 50 people. We're going to leverage some lessons that we can learn, not just from Walt and the Disney theme parks, but I just announced some of the itinerary this week. We're going to learn about live video, some of the unsexy side of being an entrepreneur, accounting, basic accounting for entrepreneurs, how to pitch yourself and get on TV from a former news anchor, marketing with Facebook, building and growing your community, why you need to podcast, how to do it, and lots more. Again, unlike other conferences too, this is not just going to be presentations one after the other, but a really interactive workshop element. And just because you're listening this far into the show, and because you're my friend, if you go to loumongello.com/momentum and order your ticket and use code LouFriend40, that's one word, LouFriend40, you'll save 40% off the Saturday ticket event. The Sunday Mastermind group is sold out, but we do still have some limited availability for Saturday. Again, that's loumongello.com/momentum. As always, thanks to my partners and friends, including Mousefan Travel, whether you're coming to World, Land, Cruise, Adventures by Disney, to overseas with us next year, you can visit them over at mousefantravel.com for not just the best prices, not only the available discounts, but more importantly, the incredible level of personal service that they will give to you. Visit celebrationspress.com to order Celebrations Magazine. And as always, my friends, and you are my friend, whether we have met yet or not, and you continue to demonstrate that week after week, day after day. But all I ask is that if you like the show, please help spread the word. Let others know about it. Tweet out that you're listening to this episode or your favorite episode. Share in your favorite Facebook group or page. And please take a minute to just go over to iTunes, rate and review the show there. Thanks to you, we have more than 1,200 five-star reviews. Please keep them coming. I want to thank some recent reviewers, like DJMI Kegs, who says, it is magical, one of the best Disney podcasts you'll find, a great mix of history, questions, interviews, and current content. You can feel the passion. I love that, brother. Thank you so much. Of course, he says, however, don't listen when you're hungry, which is good news. Yorkie275 from the UK says, it's brilliant. Excellent for keeping your inner Disney fed. And Cougar3514V said, this is everything for the Disney geek, regardless of what you love about Disney. The podcast has it, including my brand of cohorts. Becky, Tim, and all the guests are incredibly well-versed in everything. Thank you so much. And you know what? I love this one. I'm going to read. Peg Teal says, it always makes me smile, whether you're planning a trip to Disney or just need a dose till you get back. The banter's entertaining and the passion shines through, and it always brings a smile to my face. And Peg, that is exactly what I want this show to do, and maybe make you a little hungry. Thank you all for the kind words and the reviews. If you'd like to leave a review, you can visit wdwradio.com/iTunes for a direct link and instructions on how to do it. And finally, I wish I could figure out other ways to say and express my gratitude to you. When I meet some of you, like at the meet of the month this past week, and I'm able to say it to you, to your face, because you allow me and empower me and inspire me every day to do what I do. And I want to try and help you if I can anyway. So whether it's with the podcast or with coaching or speaking or the Momentum event. And I thought this week, in talking to somebody about how difficult the journey is. Sometimes you only just see the front-facing side of things. And a line from, as always, a Disney movie came to me, and it was from Grandmother Willow in Pocahontas, who said, sometimes the right path isn't the easiest one. And that's not just true for business, but life and anything else that you encounter. And always remember that, especially when the times start to get a little tough, or you're frustrated or confused or tired or whatever it might be. As long as you know you're going down that right path, I promise you that the journey and the experience is worth it in the end. You have proven that to me and continue to do so every single day. So for that, I thank you sincerely. I hope you have the best week ever. I hope to see you this week live on Facebook or next week on the show. Have a great week. See ya.
Hey, Lou, it's Bobby Freedom from New Jersey commenting on last week's show, 458, on Tutto Gusto and Tutto Italian. I never was at Tutto Gusto, but last week I had one of the best meals in Disney World at Tutto Italia for lunch. Everything was amazing, from the bread to the dessert. The atmosphere was amazing, all the paintings. I've been there before when I was younger to Alfredo's, but I can't really remember it, but when I went this time, it was really amazing, the atmosphere. And the bread was equally amazing. All the food was. So start with the bread. And then I had the ravioli, which I don't know if it was the same that you just ate, but it was amazing. By far the best meal I had in that trip. And like you, I picked on everyone else's. I picked on the fettuccine with the pesto. That was really good. The spaghetti, one of the sandwiches was good. And for dessert, I had the strawberry sorbet. It was delicious, melted in your mouth, fresh strawberries. Oh. Yeah, and our server was great too, and I can't remember what his name was, but he helped us trace back some of our roots in Italy, where they were, and he taught us how to pronounce some words, and all in all, it was an amazing experience that capped off a wonderful trip with my family. And that's it. Bobby from New Jersey. Hello, what you do? Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey, Lou, it's Barry from Knoxville, Tennessee. I just got finished listening to your latest episode, the one about the favorite Disney moments that we wish that we had witnessed. And one of the ones that occurred to me, although you all pretty much covered everything that I had on my list, was back when the Disney animators were putting together Steamboat Willie. There was a moment when they screened the movie or the short, and before they added music to it, they actually had an impromptu band session where the animators and producers and Walt and some of the other folks got together that screening and played instruments and played the Steamboat Willie song while the film was going on, and just sort of had a preview of what an animated short or an animated feature could sound like with sound. And it just sounded like it's always been a joyous moment to have witnessed, to see all these folks gathered around with the movie going and playing the music and singing and just having a great time. And I would love to be a witness to that. So that was my moment. And then you also mentioned where would we take Walt if he was available in this time period. What restaurant? I think the natural place would be 50's Primetime Cafe. He would probably feel right at home there, and he would, I'm sure, be able to find something on the menu there that he would find very familiar. So thank you so much for the show. Thank you so much for all the things you do, and I appreciate it and looking forward to many more. Thank you.
Hello, Lou Mangello. It's Darlene Nagy from West Seneca, New York, calling in to say our e-ticket adventure is 48 days away. Oh, wow. That is happening so fast. I cannot believe it. We are going to be flying to New York City and sailing out of there, and I heard the sailing is going to be absolutely beautiful. We're going to have to be on deck to go out and see the Statue of Liberty and everything and pass under some bridges and that. So, can you just imagine seeing that view from a ship, especially a Disney ship with Disney characters? I am so excited. Then my next excitement is going to St. Martin, where I've never been, Tortola in Puerto Rico, and having a nice time, 2 days of relaxation. The whole cruise is going to be relaxing, but wow. And my daughter is getting married in 1 week. Yes, that's what I said. Yes, 1 week. Can you believe it's already here? I am so excited to have Alicia and Mike get married next week, and Mike become really, really, really part of our family. I'm just wishing them the best and hoping that they have beautiful weather and stuff. It looks like it's going to be gorgeous so far in the 70s, which is perfect for a fall wedding. So I hope you all have a very magical weekend. Stay safe. Stay positive, like Lou always says, and thanks, Lou, for everything you do and your family love and friendship to you and to everyone. Have a great weekend.
You've got a friend in me. Yeah.
The suspense is terrible. He's going to go this time. I hope it'll last. But hurry, please. We have so much time and so little to see. Wait a minute. Strike that. Reverse it. Thank you.
Augusto, sweetheart, save some room for later.
And up until now, I've pressed them all. Except one. This one.
If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world. There's nothing to it.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams. Don't forget what happened to the man who suddenly got everything he always wanted.
What happened?
He lived happily ever after.